Here we go, folks. We're going live. Oh, there's Sharona. Hi, Sharona.
Hi, Sharona.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Liftoff, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us. This is Tarot Today. I'm your host, Dax Carlisle, coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona, and joining me, the fabulous Mary Brown, all the way from Amarillo, Texas. Here we are again.
Here we are. We are here. We need one of those big signs. You are here.
How's the weather in Texas? It's cold here.
It's cold. It was like 20 degrees last night. I was like, brr, brr. So cold. But
shouting out.
Who's in the
Hi,
chat
Rosie.
room?
Hi, Rosie.
Hey, Rosie.
And Sharona.
And
Smirty. Shmirti. I cannot pronounce. I was saying it better the last time Shmirti was in there. I was pronouncing it better anyway, but hi. So, if you are listening to us, live on Blog Talk Radio, maybe you've called into the show, you can see us too. Come over to the YouTube channel. We are Tarot Today Live on YouTube, and you can just type in your browser. What is it? tarottoday.live. That'll take you right over to the page. Pop in the chat here on the YouTube channel. You can see us holding up the cards and everything and chatting. Me and Mary. Mary's back on cam now. Yay. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I just have a little wrist guard stabilizer thing that,
nice.
Helps me. It helps me do that.
Oh, and of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, we're simulcasting on Blog Talk Radio, so you can call into the show. Want to tell folks about that, Mary?
Yes, you need a phone or something that will make calls, and after that, you dial the number, which is 714-816-4628. Be sure to press the number 1 on your dial pad. So that raises your hand in the air and lets us know that you have a question and want to be on the air with us. And again, the number is 714-816-4628 and press 1. But they can also ask questions in the chat room on YouTube. Hopefully specific questions. But if you don't have a specific question,
we'll
just say, pull a card for me. Yeah. And you don't have to ask. There's no line. There's no sign up. There's no waiting around, whatever. Just put it in there so we can pull cards on it.
We already got one from Sharona. I was thinking about it last night myself, and she had the same idea. Pull some cards on the Super Bowl, Kansas City or Philly. We should do that in a little bit.
Philly. Yes.
Yeah. And we still got to do the cards of the day and the numerology today. And after that, we can reshuffle and pull some cards. Kansas City, Philly. Katie just popped in there. Hi, Katie. And on the phone lines, we got a couple of callers waiting. And so we'll be, of course, we give preferential treatment to our callers on Saturdays, because on our Monday show, it's all YouTube in the chat. We don't have the phone lines because we're not simulcasting on Blog Talk on Mondays. So we'll be getting to the calls in a minute here. Hey, today is a great day. It is the 11th, and the entire date actually reduces to 11 as well. So it's a master illuminator number. That's right. The number 11, master illuminator, learning and teaching, especially the big things, how the universe works. that kind of stuff. But it also reduces to 2. So 1 + 1 is 2. Relationships, partnerships, getting along at work, with your coworkers, your boss, all that kind of stuff, you know. And I got the Lover's card. So that fits in with relationships too, but also, you know, also your business and work and everything as well. You know, do you really love it? That's the question. Yeah. And then my new deck, the gold leaf one here, you know, it's very slippery. So I'm pulling this card of the day, and the Tower card fell out as well. What falls will come. And so this is a shift in foundations. Sometimes it's an unexpected big change. It looks like it's very disastrous. It doesn't have to be, but it can be, you know. So with the Lover's card, are you ending a relationship? Is something, you know, going on at work, or, you know, maybe a shift in foundations as far as like your business and your career? Maybe you need to focus more on what you love and not just what pays the bills. A lot to think over there. Mary, what did you get for card of the day?
Well, you know,
Well,
I went a different route today,
okay.
and I've had this deck for a while, and I keep looking through it, and actually it's funny, I just did this interview for my March episode of There's a Rock for That with Donald Altman, who writes the mindfulness blog for Psychology Today. And we talked a lot about mindfulness, and I just today it occurred to me, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I have like a mindfulness deck, right? And this is actually called the self-compassion deck. It's not really a divination deck. You know, this was put out by PESI Publishing. They publish a lot of, you know, therapy stuff. The authors, Chris Willard, Mitch Ablett, and Tim Desmond, you know, they're all like psychologists, psychotherapists, that kind of thing. So anyways, I pulled this card. The back of the cards look like this. It's not the most imaginatively designed deck, but it is got great content. And the card I pulled is the present moment card. And I thought that was interesting because so often people want predictions, you know, they want predictions from tarot readers. You know, they think of it always as the sort of fortune telling thing. They don't necessarily understand maybe the way a lot of us use it as, you know, for guidance, but not, you know, telling the fortune of the future. But this I thought was great. So the present moment, it says we all think of happiness as something that will come later when conditions in our lives are better. And I agree with that. I think that's across the board, right? Well, once all this is in place, then I'll be happy. And so this asks us, all of us listening, for 5 breaths for breathing. You know, breathe in, breathe out, you know, relax, slow, comfortable. For 5 breaths, let go of any thought you have of the future and see if there is happiness to be found in the present. And if you do that for 5 breaths, you completely let go of the future and you just think about what is it now that is bringing you happiness. And if you can't find anything, you know, and that's possible, then what do you think is going to make you happy? What do you think of? You know, look through imagery, you know, think of, you know, the things that you've done where you had that moment of feeling uplifted and happy. And maybe it's time to go do that again or something along those lines. So that is the card of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that fits in perfectly too. It's that
Awesome
master
sauce.
illuminator, you know, taking a step back.
Yeah.
Katie's in there. Rosie, Katie donated a coffee. Thank you very much.
Aw,
Yay.
thanks, Katie. That's very sweet.
And she says, okay, because she's at work, she wants to know when we would be able to take her question. Well, just type it in, Katie. Did you type it in
Now.
already? Oh, will Jordan change his mind in regards to kids in our situation?
Ah,
Oh, does he not want to have kids, or does he want to have kids?
or will,
That is the
or
question.
will he just change his mind, of what he stated right now, I guess, right?
Yes. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay. Doing a little cutting and shuffling here. Interesting.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, and I
You know,
got the 6 of Cups. There's those kids.
so did
Go ahead, Mary.
I. I got the 6 of Cups too. I
Oh my
got the
God, go
6
ahead.
of Cups too. Okay. So we get the 6 of Cups, and then because I'm using I love this deck, Mini and a 10 Zillich Tarot. I got 3 princesses. I get the 6 of Cups in the past, which is interesting. I get the Princess of Cups. Look at her. I love this deck. I just love it. I got the Princess of Swords. And I got the Princess of Pentacles. I don't know. Well, discs in this case. The only princess I didn't get was the Princess of Wands. I didn't get any fire energy around that. Right in the center of all of that is the 9 of Cups. In this deck, it's subtitled Bliss. And, it's interesting. It's like nothing to me about any of this is showing change. Okay. But it is showing that we've still got a lot to talk about, around this. So I don't think it's a matter of just like snap, change your mind. It's like, oh, now I don't, or yes, I do, or I want 3. Maybe you want 3, but it's almost like saying like there's 3 conversations we need to have about this. We got to talk about the money aspect. We got to talk about the expense, right? My God, that's more expensive than kids. I can't think of anything that is more of a lifetime expense than kids. Of course, for most, the good outweighs the bad. The Princess of Swords. We got to talk about like our philosophy of parenting. Have one. Figure it out. There's nothing like being born to parents who don't know what they're doing or don't have a clue. Okay. I've been there. It's an adventure, that you don't need to have. And the Princess of Cups, the emotion. How do you really feel about it? How does he really feel about it? Have these conversations now. If it's on the cusp of having kids, actually, these are great conversations to have at any time, even if you already have kids. So that's what I'm getting, but no cards indicating change, just that, there's still a lot to talk about with it. What about you, Dex? What are you getting?
Same for me. Mine was a little bit more on talking about like got the Emperor and the 9 of Pence there, the 9 of coins, very independent energy. And, same thing with the Emperor. I mean, these 2 cards together is like, I'm not changing my mind. It's like, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
However, when I look into the other card, and that was more the recent past. Okay. In the current moment is when I got that 6 of Cups that you also got, which I just love that. And that's the nostalgia card. And, obviously, kids in there, it could be a good indicator for that. But I think, part of the issue might have to do with either him or you and how you feel about your childhood. And that might be, either consciously or subconsciously affecting how you think about this. However, I think he's definitely willing to work on it. So I got the 5 of Wands, but the way this card hit me was these folks are trying to put something together and they're working on it. And that's what I think, plus it looks like a bunch of kids, by the way. And Katie did say that, God, they'd almost have the Brady Bunch. Okay, so doesn't want to add stepkids. We would have 6 kids, 3 of his, 3 of mine.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like he's still, but I mean, gosh, getting these cards, I don't, he's really firm in his ways right now, but there's wiggle room. So maybe, but the last card I got was, and you got this too, Mary, I think, Page of Pence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was the last card too. So possibly, yeah.
It's a big decision.
It's a big decision, and here's what she says real quick. Well, we broke up because of all that. So if he would change his mind, maybe he would reach out. So he will, or no, most likely. Well, I'm going to go on a limb and say no, most likely, only because of those powerful cards I got in the beginning. And Mary didn't see change.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have this
thought
nagging thing
those-
where it's still, the possibility is still there.
I think the possibility is still open. Getting 3 pages to me is like, that's like having conversations. So I feel like there's definitely, more to talk about with this, so
Yeah.
so reaching out and saying yes, changing his mind and all of that, that's not going to come until some communication happens more and we get that
Definitely
kind of going.
And with this 5 of Wands, I see the working together, but it's also a struggle, so that makes sense, Mary. Oh, one thing I wasn't going to mention, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it. It was a 5 card, yes, no. And so we got Page. Okay. So no, yes, no, yes. So it's a probable no. It's not a real strong no that he won't change. It's not, a real strong or probable. It's or more likely it's in that, possibility. It's very, very much leaning that way, but yeah, there's still wiggle room. So good luck with that. Laura just joined the party, late to the party, but I'm here. Hey, Laura, thanks for popping in with us. I hope that helped you out, Katie. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and let us know what happened. Let's see. So before we go to phone lines, I was going to go to the phone lines next, but I'm going to shuffle again. Let's do a little, Super Bowl. Thingy. I wasn't going to bring it up, but Sharona mentioned it, so it's like, why not?
Who are the teams again? I'm sorry. Are we pulling cards on? It's the Philly versus somebody.
Yeah, so Kansas City versus Philly.
Okay.
Kansas. Hey, I couldn't remember either. All I remembered was Philly because I'm from Philly, so.
Yeah, I watched for the
I'm Eagles all the way.
And I watched for the commercials. I grew up in Pittsburgh, so, I was into it when the Steelers were playing, but I don't know what happened.
Right.
Something happened.
I mean, I'm so out of it. I don't even I know the Eagles because I live there, but Kansas City, what was that? The Kansas City Chiefs? Did they have to change their name because of all the wokeness, or are they still the Chiefs? I don't know. I have no idea. I do not follow football, folks. In fact, we have a big Super Bowl event going on. We're gonna have karaoke and all this kind of stuff over at one of the venues here in Tucson, Mary. And what we do is, we hang out back and eat and sing karaoke, and then we have people tell us when the commercials come on, and then we go in to see the commercials, and then we come back out again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just, I'm gonna make a bunch of snacks. Everybody will eat snacks and pizza, and I'll be painting and then popping in to see the good commercials, and the halftime show if it retains my interest.
Oh gosh,
So what are you getting?
This is just bizarre. Okay, so for Kansas City, I got the 2 of Pence. And then I pulled one for Philly and got the King of Pence, King trumps 2. However, I had to pull a couple more cards because that was not making any sense to me, really, and then the Wheel of Fortune came up for Kansas City, but then also the 8 of Swords. Okay. Then on the Philly side, are you ready for this? The 10 of Swords. And the 4 of Pentacles. I looked at the 4 of Pentacles and he's holding on to that pentacle. It looks like he's holding on to the football, literally. Wow. I don't really know what to say here, but that 10 of Swords, even though the King of Pence came up, that 10 of Swords don't look too good in the Philly column, and with the Wheel of Fortune being on the side of Kansas City, I don't know. What about you, Mary? What'd you get? Maybe you got better cards than me that are more clear.
I got less cards.
Oh, good.
I got a lot less cards. I just pulled a card for each one, Kansas City, I got the 5 of Wands. So it's going to be a struggle, and
okay.
For Philly, I got the Strength card,
Oh, they got the Strength.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Philly. That 10 of Swords, the first thing I thought of was like an injury on the field.
Ooh, that could be.
That could be.
And but they take home the riches. King of Pentacles. Yeah. They take home the riches that.
But if you watch, football, and I do, I like playing football more than watching football. I mean, not these days. I'm too old.
Not
whatever.
These days, but yeah, I was the same way
myself. But I used to play flag football when I was in the Army, and and it's like really, the game is always changing. And there's that. So your cards make total sense to me because you have a lot of changes that occur, before you have the final, what is it? Moment, score. What is it? What do they call these? The big
the final
end. I don't know. Maybe there's not a name for it. The final outcome. The final touchdown. Yeah.
Final touchdown.
I feel it could be a pretty exciting game. Yeah. It could be a pretty exciting game, and somebody could get hurt on the Philly side.
Right. And then also, that Wheel of Fortune came in with Kansas City. It's almost like, the game flips.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they win. It could flip back at the end and then Philly wins at the end, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're Pennsylvania people. We have to root for Philly.
I don't, because I'm from Pittsburgh, so I don't root for Philly.
You're still in Pennsylvania. Come on. Anyway,
Steelers are the only team there for me.
Not for me. Like, if the Steelers were in the Super Bowl and nobody else, then I would be for the Steelers only because, hey, Pennsylvania. Anyway, let's see.
I live in cowboy territory in Texas,
Dallas. Oh my God, the Cowboys. And remember the Cowboys back in the day, and it was such a big deal.
Yeah, their day lasted a really long time too. That's impressive.
Absolutely. Well, let's get over the phone lines because some folks have been waiting a long time here, and I don't see any questions in chat. So if anybody wants us to pull a card or has a question, pop it in the chat. We'll get back to that. But we're going to take some phone calls here. Area code 850. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? 850.
My name is Michelle, and I'm calling from Florida.
Hi, Michelle. What do you want to talk about?
Hey. Well, I was just wanting some spiritual messages. If you could do a mini reading on spiritual messages from my angels or whatever comes up.
I love that. Yes, I think it's my turn to go first here. And I'm just going to pull my angel deck that's sitting right next to me, even though I wasn't going to use it today. Isn't that weird? I'm
Oh,
like, wow,
perfect.
there it's like angels. Whoa, there's angels right there. Maybe you're the reason why. But let's see what comes up here. Interesting. Do you feel that like you're shy? Do you think of yourself as a shy person at all? Because there's okay, because there's something talking about um being able to detach. I got literally what's called the angel detachment and the angel of the sweet shyness. And there's this sense of like this other card that comes up here is about masculinity. And so almost I feel like it's saying like there's going to be a situation, or maybe you're already going through it now, where probably the best thing that you can do for yourself is to detach from it. You know, it's almost like, yeah, I'm too shy for that, you know? And I was like, is she really shy though? I don't think she is, but it's saying like, find a way to pull back from someone that may be trying to be too dominant with you, you know? Detach from that instead of engaging, taking the bait and arguing with this person, you know, not necessarily arguing, but I feel like this is about avoiding a conflict that's just like not going to do you any good to engage in, and to just, you know, kind of act like you're shy, even if you aren't. Like, yeah, I don't really have time for this today, you know, whatever. But yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's telling you to detach. So that's what I'm getting. But let's see what Dax is getting.
Well, a little
Interesting.
later on, I got the high priestess, and so that really fits in with what you were talking about, Mary, because that is a card of holding back sometimes and stepping back and listening to your intuition and your gut instincts involving that situation. But the cards I got were something completely different, though, talking about this Ace of Swords. Swords are thoughts and ideas. It's like a new beginning, a new opportunity with something, a new idea. And then you grab that sword and you run with it, the Knight of Swords. So it's like finding this idea, and then you're just running with that idea. And then that's when the high priestess comes in, and a lot of times with the high priestess, it's connected with the moon. There's that mystery. It's a card of stillness and almost passivity, kind of similar to what Mary was saying about the shy thing, but it's not shy. It's just being still with yourself, and then things that are hidden open up to you, the mysteries, the oh gosh, things that are not illuminated, that and maybe that's when that idea comes through, kind of like meditation. It's like adopting some stillness so you get this idea, this message, and then run with it with the Knight of Swords. So try that out. I hope that helps you out.
Thanks
Well,
for
thank
calling.
you. Very interesting. Thank you so much.
Have a great
Food
weekend.
for thought. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we are going to go to area code 229. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Melvin. I'm calling from Georgia.
Hi,
Melvin from Georgia. Wow, I haven't heard you in a while, Melvin. How you been?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Well, I have a ton of things going on with me, but I'm trying to. I'm about to be on the donors. I don't know. Do y'all answer medical questions?
Well, we try to stay clear of medical questions, medical advice as much as possible. But if you can word it in such a way that it's how you feel about it and how you're reacting to it, basically
Okay.
What's the burning question? What do you really want to know?
I really want to know. I've been on dialysis now for a year and about 4 or 5 months, and I just
Oh
want to
my
know,
gosh.
will I get a kidney? Yeah, I just want to know, will I get a kidney transfer? Will I get a donor that match me, and I get a transfer? Get off the dialysis. Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
funny
I
you
went to the
mentioned that
hospital.
because the first card that I got, 2 cups, look, it's got that medical symbol on there. It's Raphael, it's 2 of Pentacles. It's balancing this, it's a balancing act, really. Mary, I don't know. It's like this is very borderline. I don't like making a prediction involving somebody's health. If you're on the donor list, it takes as long as it takes. It's a balancing act. 2 of Pentacles.
Because I'm a veteran, and the VA had already brought me up on the list. I had to go and do dental work. I have one more appointment with the dental work, and once I finish up my dental work, they're going to submit the package to the board. So they already brought me completely up the list with the VA. I'm a former Marine.
Awesome.
Yep. And then the only other card I got here was the 10 of Pentacles, which is a really great card to get. Things look pretty positive for you, but being on a donor list is you're in that order, and depending on what happens with the different cases and the people that are the donors and their availability and the level, and that's why the balancing act, it's them balancing. Mary, anything?
Yeah,
The reason why they brought,
I pulled a few cards on this, and look, I feel like this is a positive card in the end here. The full card comes up first, so it's saying, like, look, anything can happen. Anything can happen with this, and so don't feel like it's not going to happen. Don't get too attached to what happens. Focus on the now. In the meantime, you got to do dental work, got to do all of that. You're going through the VA. Dax and I are both veterans. We understand about the VA and those processes. But the full card comes up first, and then the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune goes right in to the 3 of Pentacles. And I actually think that I feel like that's a good sign. Like, things are going to change for the better, where you really feel like people are really working for you on this, that you're not alone in this, and that, people are trying to make it happen for you. And I think that that's really, kind of the best thing that could have come up on a question like this, because we're not doctors. And I don't want to say anything ever to somebody dealing with a medical condition that's going to make them pull away from the experts that they've chosen to work with, that are really getting in there with their scalpels and their, scissors. I don't know. I am like not a doctor. Whatever doctors use, but Melvin, but definitely, prayers going up for you as you go through this journey, and just know you're not alone, and they really are going to try and do everything they can for you. It's a feeling I get.
Thanks for the call, Melvin, and let us know how things go. But I did, I was really excited to get a really good card like the 10 of Pentacles, and look, it's surrounding yourself with family and friends. That's what you really need to do the most. That's the message, I think. Let's see what's going on here in the chat room. We don't have any more callers, so if you call 714-816-4628 right now and press number 1 on your dial pad, we'll have time to take your call before we end the show. In the chat, meanwhile, Mary, I'm going to take a look in here. And I think we got maybe a couple of questions in there. Before I go any further, though, it's past the bottom of the hour. So, Mary, let's tell them about, upcoming shows. For instance, tomorrow, Magic Universe with Sharon Rapsik. She's having back her previous guest, Dina. I don't know if it's Dinah or Dina. Is it Dina? Sharona, let us know in the chat. Dinah, D-I-N-A. How would you pronounce that?
D-I-N-A, probably Dinah or Dina. I don't know. You remember like Dinah Shore had an H on the end?
That's what
so
I was
I
thinking.
think
It's the
Dinah.
same spelling minus the H. Yeah. Dinah Burnin, and they're going to be talking about tarot and crystals, and then Mary and I'll be back on Monday. Yeah.
Yes.
One other thing I wanted to mention is, let's see, a couple of things.
People should subscribe and like the video kind of thing. Aren't we supposed to say that?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I mean, we love that, right? And I don't know if I've got my subscribe thing up here. Anyway, but I wanted to look more at the schedule, Mary, because there's things, programming changes
happening.
And so the Angelic View is back with Maria G. Moss. She had her first show back. She was off for the holidays and writing her book. And she's going to be on the first and third Sundays now. So we will have Magic Universe with Sharona tomorrow. And then next Sunday, it'll be actually, I'm trying to look here. The Magic of Divine Timing is what Maria is going to be talking about on February 19th. And then Mary, your show's moving to Thursdays.
Yes.
First Thursday of the month.
First Thursday of the month for There's a Rock for that. In March, oh my God. March is going to be so awesome because I have Donald Altman as my guest, and he wrote a wonderful actual fiction book called Travelers that talks about all kinds of cool things. So I'm excited for that first Thursday in March show.
Oh, sounds good. So let me check. Okay, calls. And then back in the chat room, we got joined by a couple of people, I think. Rimsha and Anjana. So she wants to know, may I know when my mother's health will be fine? So there's another health question.
Aww.
When will it be fine?
Well, I just had a card fly out of the deck on that. 9 of Pentacles,
Oh, you're kidding. I got 9.
No,
too.
isn't that wild? And so it could be connected to 9. We'll see what 9 you got too, because it just happened. But the 9 of Pentacles to me is a great sign, because that is a card of like feeling pretty good and things looking healthy. When you look at the traditional imagery, she's in the garden, not a care in the world. And so, what I would say to the person asking, I forget, is it Rimsha asking? Is that
no? It's Anjana.
Anjana. Look up the 9 of Pentacles, like Google it, like the traditional Rider-Waite Smith imagery, or maybe a version of the 9 of Pentacles, like on just the Google image search that you like, and print it off or just save the picture, download it to your phone or something, and look at that as a sort of symbol of your mother's recovery, of seeing her as that person that doesn't have that worry and stress, and it's like this vibrant, healthy scene and everything, and just keep that image of her in that state of good health in your mind, refer to it, and that way you can kind of send that energy. I don't know if you do Reiki or anything, but it's just as good, to be sending that like vibration of healing in that way. You have healing power too, besides everybody else, the doctors and stuff. But what did you get, Dax?
I like that. I got 9 too, and I'm thinking, if we're gonna put I don't like you making those kind of predictions because it's volatile. The future's not set in stone. When will this happen? When will that happen? Well, we can look at the cards and it'll give us a probable estimate of outcome, based on the trajectory right now. But that could change when things change. You change if you do what Mary just said, and you're putting out that intention, and maybe the healing happens faster. I'm thinking like 9 weeks, but it could happen even faster. I got that from the 9 of Swords, being up at night, worrying about this. And see, it's mental. A lot of this is mental. And especially on your part as a daughter, and so, but great news, because the Knight of Cups shows up bringing in a message, and then the Ace of Cups, a new beginning, especially in health and emotions, of course, but I just get a health feeling from this Ace of Cups. I think there's good news on the way in regards to this.
Yeah.
Let's see if maybe Rimsha had a question. Oh, Sharona says it's Dina. I would have never guessed that. I was thinking
Dina.
Anyway, it's Dina. Okay, sorry, Dina. we butchered, or I butchered your name anyway. Rimsha's asking about hope you will be fine. Oh, well, thank you. We hope we will be fine too. And they say, it's kind of like asking, okay, about their future spouse, and what's their nature going to be like?
Oh, wonderful.
Like his sign.
Well, that is a great question, actually, for tarot. There's a lot of cards that can give us indications of their nature. That's a beautiful question, I think. You have an answer for her?
I do. Give me just a second here. I'm pulling something up because I have to grab my cheat sheet, and I'm going to tell you why. I am not an astrologer. I do not pay attention to this stuff, except for the fact that I'm a Gemini. I don't know crap about anything else. So I have my nice little cheat sheet here that tells me, what the elements are in modern astrology, so I don't, totally butcher and destroy this. So he's showing up as the King of Cups. So it's the water signs. What are the water signs? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay. So what I'm getting from this is, actually, I just lost sorry, I'm dealing with the technology here, folks. I just lost my camera and everything. It just all disappeared. Give me just a second to bring everything back here. Okay, there it is. Oh, whew. Couldn't find my thing so I could do, get this in frame. So King of Cups, and cups are the water element, and emotions, and he has full mastery over that. He's sitting on a stone throne, floating, like almost floating on the water, and the water all around him is just total choppy, rough seas, ships and water life, being thrown around and everything. Meanwhile, he's all calm, cool, collected, sitting there. So I think this person is going to, that's what they're going to be like, because that's what you asked about. What are they going to be like? I think that's what they're going to be like. And there tends to be often with the cups, we tend to have artistic interest, artistic ability, things along those lines as well. What about you, Mary?
Well, it's interesting. The cups do come up here with the 10 of cups.
Oh, wow.
And also I get the 2 of wands right between the 10 of cups and the 4 of pentacles. Now, the 4 of pentacles to me is kind of a funny card when we're talking about characteristic personality traits of somebody, because the 4 of pentacles to me is somebody that sometimes can be a little bit stubborn. You know, they'll be like, I'm not moving, I'm staying right here, I'm just maintaining, you know, or I don't want to, you know, shift. And then, so this person might be a little, you know, have a bit of a stubborn streak, but also with the 10 of cups, you know, there's a lot of loving kindness, you know, warm, emotional, you know, availability with that as well. Might be there may be times when this person could be a little too sensitive and go into that other side where they're stubborn and crossing their hands and like, nope, I'm not moving. And why would that be? Because I also have some insecurities. The 5 of Pentacles comes up here as well. So, you know, those are some of the aspects. Now, look, we are all a mixture of so many different flavors, right, within any one person's personality. And the final card that comes up is one of the pages, the Page of Swords. And so I think that, you know, like most relationships, communication is going to be key. To be interested, to engage with the person, make sure we keep the communication open, even when they may seem to sort of withdraw back into that, you know, sort of stubborn kind of energy. Know that that's coming from a sense of insecurity, that they can be a little bit inflexible, but at the same time, as long as we're still connecting to that loving quality, which way outweighs everything else, because we got the 10 of cups, all the cups you could get, you know. So I think it could be a really interesting relationship, a good one. Yeah.
Awesome. So we have new people coming in. Wooski, it's like 6 Wooski. I'm just gonna call them Woo. So
hi, new people.
If you have any questions, pop that in. And we got Yama and also Yama. So there's one with an A at the end and one with a UH at the end. So Yama was asking about career, and basically it was, okay, this is really interesting though. Is the career that I want to pursue the career for me? Go for it, Mary.
Career, right? Is the career they want to pursue really like where they should be, like really where they'll like excel, you know? Is it a good fit? Okay,
right.
Let's see what comes up in the cards. Ace of Pentacles is the first thing. The Death card in the past position. So that's good. Hey. Oh, wow. Okay, look, here's the funny thing about this career that you want to pursue. It feels like with the Death card in the past position, like, you know, this is where what we're going into now. Like there's a transition involved, you know, from either, you know, whatever you're doing now or not doing, or education or whatever was in the past. It's like, what's this new transformation going to look like? The Ace of Pentacles comes up. Okay, we lay the foundation, we pursue the career. I think with the 9 of Pentacles, yeah, you get employment in it and you probably do well in it. We have the Sun card, which is interesting. You know, the Sun card is like a happy energy, but also it's about, you know, kind of shining the light on things, you know. So maybe I get the feeling that you've got to enter this in order to gain greater awareness or knowledge, right? But I don't think that it's going to be what you're going to do forever. The last card that comes up here is the 7 of Swords, you know. And so what are we maybe, you know, in our heads, because swords are of the mind, what is it that we're just kind of not maybe being logical about, or that we're kidding ourselves about with this career? You could reach that, it's in the future position, so it may not be something for right now, but I feel like you entered this career, you do well, you make money, and then you reach a point where you say, like, I'm kidding myself. I don't want to do this. This isn't it. And it may be that the particular job that's making you all that money is what's wrong. It might not be the field that's wrong. That could be, you could be going in the right direction, but you're going to have like an epiphany at some point that says, like, hey, I got to shift this in some way. But that's what I get. Let's see what Dax is getting.
I got exactly the same thing.
Weird.
So this is the thing. Okay, so, with the Knight of Pentacles, yes, you can get into that slow, steady progress. It may even lead to financial and material reward, the King of Pentacles. However, Cups cards, you're not going to be emotionally fulfilled. And the central focus card is the Tower. So ultimately, you're just not going to be ultimately fulfilled by this career. Not that it won't work, not that you can't get into it, not that you can't be financially stable, even well off from it, but yeah. Anyway, that's what I got, and hope that helped you out. I spotted a card request from Freedom, so I'm just going to go with that because it's my turn next. And I got the World card. I got the World card for Freedom. And right off the bat, as soon as I pulled this out of the deck, Mary, I was hit with freedom's not thinking big enough. You're not thinking big enough. You have the entire world open to you. You got whatever projects, whatever you're pursuing, you are not thinking big enough. Did you pull a card for freedom yourself?
For freedom, yes, I am pulling a card right now. And the card is the Four of Pentacles. There you go. I kind of feel like, is it really just about maintaining, the like a status quo going on? I feel like, really in agreement with what you said about the World card. It's kind of interesting because it's like, I see that card after you pull the World, and I think, like, wow, if the whole world's available, why are you satisfied with the Four of Pentacles? You know? And sometimes we, Four of Pentacles, it's like we can hold on to things too tightly. We can be too rigid. We can be afraid to move it. Sometimes it's a card of the miser too, where it's like, I don't want to like lose anything. And, there's got to be a flow,
It makes so much sense, Mary, because when you look at it from numerology, from that standpoint, fours is the first, full structure, but it's not the end of the numbers. We go out to 9, so it's false complacency. It's a point where, you settle, or you think you've made it, but really real abundance is 8, 4 and 4 again, 4. Whereas a lot of people get stuck in the structure of 4 and don't advance higher and true abundance. Awesome cards. And we had a question from Wooski. Can you tell me how my boyfriend Ronnie really feels about me? How does he really feel? It's one of those questions again, Mary.
Oh, I answer those questions every day. That's like the number one question I think I get. Like I'm keen, like in
and her name is Shronda. Shronda?
Shronda. I like that. Okay. I'm going to pull something from the Whispers of Love Oracle deck by, who is it by? Probably, good old Angela Hartfield. I love her decks. But yeah, let's pull from a love oracle to see where the love is at. How do they really feel about you? Aw, and it's talking about, oh, look at this. Look at that. If you can see that imagery, you see, look at
Mm,
that,
I
just
love
that,
that. Catching the falling
yeah, like
star.
catching the falling stars. That's how they feel about you. It's sort of like a card talking about, spiritual growth and and seeing you as sort of like the opportunity. And like, look, we get together with people, we get in relationships because we are getting something from it. Excuse me, and hopefully they're getting something from us. You want that mutual exchange. And so really looks like he feels like this relationship with you is a growing experience, maybe for him, and it's a wonderful reason to be with somebody and choose to have them in your life. The question is the reverse. How do you feel about him? Is that the same? Do you feel like, this is somebody that, we're growing together, or that I'm going to grow in this relationship, or grow with, maybe grow old with? Those are the things we should be
Mm.
looking at. I think he feels fine with you, but I also feel like that's what he's getting from this, or that's what he's hoping to get from it.
Oh,
But let's see what Dax is getting.
awesome sauce. And we're coming up on the end of the show, folks. We got to get out of here. Real quick though, he's coming up as the King of Wands, and Wands is that fire energy. I think he's still, got that passion. This is the weird thing though. You're coming up as the Queen of Swords, and this is how the cards came out, Mary. So they have their backs towards each other. I think he still has the passion. But my question is, how are you reacting to that? It's you that has your back to him, and this is swords. You got that sword. So thoughts and ideas. How are you thinking about it? I actually feel in this case, it's almost like he's coming more from the heart and you're coming more from the head. So think on that. I'm just gonna leave it with that. See, we don't have time for another phone call because we got to get out of here. Oh, there was a quick question. It's really quick because it's a rain. Yes, no. Does Karen still see me as Bella from the Twilight film? And I just loved that. So I had to say, okay, we'll pull a card on that real quick. Are you going to do a pendulum real quick? Okay. And it's weird. I got the pentacles here, 8 of pentacles. 8 is abundance. She's working, I just getting this work feeling, and she's the 9 of pentacles as well. The self-made woman. I think the answer is yes, but things are going on. She's really busy. What'd you get?
I'm getting a yes.
Are you
I'm
getting
getting
yes
a yes.
too? Awesome. I apologize if I don't think I see any more in the chat room, but I apologize if we missed your question. We're at the end of the show, and if we missed your phone call, hey, you can call in tomorrow, same telephone number, same bat time, same bat channel. And you can also join us in the chat room on thetarotguild.com, and we'll be listening to Sharona's show. You can call in on Sharona's show. We'll be back on Monday right here in the YouTube chat, and you can join us on Monday, right, Mary?
Absolutely. We'd love to see you all again.
Awesome sauce. So let's see. What was I gonna say? I thought there was something I was going to mention real quick, but let's just go with that. Yeah, let's just go.
Bye.
If I could find the button, I'm having trouble with the board. Is what's going on, Mary?
So okay. We can't really leave.
we can't leave. It won't let us in. Good night, Mary Ellen.
Bye, everybody. Good night, John. Bye, everybody.